Hello and welcome to Heroes and Hexes. My name is Phillip and I'm going to be your game master and guide for this adventure today. This is normally a Dungeons and Dragons podcast, but we're actually not playing Dungeons and Dragons today. Got a new system. We're using Kids on Brims for a very special reason because this is a very special one-shot. I've got 3 amazing witches and 1 non-witch here that are going to play in a very cool world that we'll get to in a second. But first, let me introduce who is at my table. So going around, can you please introduce yourself and your character, Matthew?
My name is Matthew Waterson. I am playing Kinloch Fuchs, who is a prognosticator witch, and you don't get to meet him yet. You'll meet him when the game starts.
Ooh.
I'm Tawny Platis, and I am playing a vocal witch called Licorice.
I'm Rachel Kimsey. I'm playing a fiber witch, which is why I have so very, very many layers, called Harmony Baste. I bring my bunny rabbit Ankara with me everywhere because you never know when you might need a little extra wool to spin.
Oh, that's true. I never even thought about that
That's
as
so
a wool,
convenient.
but yeah, that's nice. And Dawn.
I'm Don Martin. I wrote the book on which this game is based, Verity Vox and the Curse of Foxfire, and I am the only non-witch at this table, which means I am probably woefully unprepared for whatever is about to happen. I am playing Verity's father, the cunning man, Thomas Wellman.
I'm so excited. Holy cow. Okay, so before we jump into this stuff, I do want to talk with you for a minute.
Sure.
This is your world. You wrote this book.
I wrote this book.
Can you give us I don't know, 3 to 4 sentences about what the world is?
Sure.
About the book at all, like if anybody's not read it, you guys have all read it, but if anybody watching this hasn't read it, what would be like the sort of the plug or the
Sure.
pitch?
Verity Vox and the Curse of Foxfire is about a young witch in training. Her name is Verity Vox, who is summoned to a forgotten coal mining town in the mountains of Appalachia. And when she arrives, she learns she has to break a curse, find a missing girl, and solve the mystery of what's really under the mountain. I like to say it's for kids and kids at heart that found themselves on the wrong end of scripture, but the right side of choir. And unlike a lot of fantasy novels out there that tend to map themselves onto Europe or something that we don't call Europe, but it's wink, wink, nudge, nudge Europe. Yeah. Foxfire is fully and wholly based here in North America. Foxfire is not a real place, but it's based on a real place, and the story itself is based on the Vulcan, West Virginia bridge collapse and the years that it took for that community to advocate for themselves and get their bridge back and rejoin the world. In my story, it's a little bit more magical, and a witch arrives to town, and there's a monster in the hills making deals with the people to steal their joy. And Verity helps to get it back. So all of the magic, both in the book and in the game that we're about to play, is based on North American folk magic.
I think that's it, right? Like that was eye-opening to me as a reader. It was like, oh my God. I talk a lot about a lot of other, I don't know, cultures have really rich lore about their histories or whatever it is, the fantasies and stuff that's happening in the culture. And I regularly was like, it's too bad we don't have something like that. And literally reading this book, I was like, oh, guess what?
There's whole books about it. There's documentaries you can watch. There's all sorts of stuff. And I was like, well, that should be a fantasy novel. And now it is.
I love it. And as a big fantasy nerd, I really enjoyed it. And I cried at the end, as I told you, which...
I am not sorry at all.
Okay, so perfect. I do want to do this quick disclaimer before we get started. The book is amazing. It's set in this beautiful, magical world that's just really rich. What we're going to play today is my interpretation of that. So some stuff may be a little bit different. I had to fit some stuff into a game system, but I think it's all going to work out pretty well. So, are you guys ready?
I'm always ready. I've been around.
God, dang it.
Okay, so we find ourselves in the early to mid 1800s, right? No specific year, but we are in these United States. Still young. The map is more guesswork than gospel. It's wilderness pressing in from every side. We're not in the cities nor along great rivers, but we find ourselves in the mountains of Appalachia. A land where mist clings low to the ground and mountains rise like sleeping gods. You see, in this area, long before the faith of men was pressed into books, there was magic here. To some, of course, that magic is scary. It's a terror. But to witches, like yourselves, it can be a blessing, for you use it to help. So it's no surprise when omens come. Maybe a message on a leaf, or a voice from a raven that you recognize calling you to a place.
Or a sheep.
Or yeah, maybe sheep are calling you, directing you to a town. Maybe it's like a playing card that refuses to fall face down, something, right? These omens happen, you guys are aware of them. They're not rare for your kind, and so when they come, you're used to deciphering them and receiving them and acting. As Dawn mentioned earlier, we know witches are helpers, more or less. Not everybody in the world knows that, but you guys recognize that when you get called to something. You tend to be called when the balance tips too far, right? One way or the other, when help is needed and nobody can help themselves in the situation, right? A lot of times when you get these messages, their meaning's vague, right? It might just say, we're cursed, send help. Or it might say, he's missing, come find him. But you sort of know how to act. And so that's where we're gonna start. And Tawny, I'm gonna start with your character, actually. So you've received this message, gotten on your guitar, flying, following this sort of omen, this missive that's leading you away from where you are. Can you paint us a picture? What does Blake look like as she's flying? What is Carlito doing, or Carlita? Stuff like that.
Blake is a Southwest witch. This is it. I specifically designed her to look like this. This is what Blake looks like. And she is on her very old school acoustic Southwest guitar, and she uses that very much like a broom to ride around. So she hops on that. She has her familiar is a Chihuahua named Carlita, and Carlita is very small. She is like, a lot of snacks in her, 8 pounds. Yeah, during the winter when she's got a lot of cookies. And she always wants to be held, so Blake has a little sling, and Carlita is in the sling. And so when she flies, she just right on her chest like that, and she just puts her head on her chest, and that's how they navigate around.
That is amazing. Can you roll, this is what we're gonna do. Mm-hmm. You're flying towards, you're not sure what. So I'm gonna have you roll a D100, and that's gonna tell us how far you have to go. Okay. Which will then indicate some other things.
I like that your familiar could turn into literally anything to fly alongside you, but it loves you so much it just wants to be in a little pocket.
She's a Chihuahua.
Yeah, I love that so much.
She's in her optimal form.
That's amazing.
I love it.
83.
That's perfect. So you can fly 45 miles per day, which means you may or may not know this, it's gonna take you about 2 days to get to where you're going, which means we need to roll for what happens during those days. So I'm gonna have you roll, I think it's a D8.
6.
On your first day, as you're flying, you're following this like magical leash, I guess, that's leading you somewhere, and you know to follow it, and you know it's safe, but you see ahead of you that there's storm clouds growing, and so you need to like maneuver through them as you keep going. So I'm gonna have you make a flight roll and a magic roll to safely maneuver through these clouds, and you're trying to beat a 6. It's not crazy high.
Okay, so the D10?
Yeah.
D10 is 2.
Okay.
And then D4 is 2.
Okay. So you rolled 4, right?
She's just gonna arrive in Brier Ridge, really wet.
You don't get a lot of rain where I'm from. It's nice.
She really comes out of it, she's like, we needed this.
Yeah.
We really did.
Yeah.
Does Carlita think you needed this?
Oh, she's tucked in. She's got a little...
She's not like,
Oh, she's upset. But...
You keep flying, you make it through, and you see in the distance there's a mountain range, and you're starting to fly a little bit lower now, so you can make out the rooftops. Like, you guys can fly very high, obviously, but lowering to get a sense of where you are in the world, and you can see just forest laid out before you. And there's a couple of trails that you can get a sense are leading to a central location, but you can't quite see that yet. Maybe it's over the next ridge. I will say this, can you give me a brains roll
1.
You're flying. You're perfect. You don't see anything, but you're just like very focused on heading to this direction. Perfect. Locked in. Rachel.
Yes.
Harmony. You are similarly have been following some sort of omen, a missive that's leading you. Are you choosing to fly, walk? What's your like preferred sort of mode of
My
transportation?
hips are old. I fly when I can. It takes much too long to walk by foot.
Can you paint us a picture? What does it look like as Harmony's flying?
Well, the nice thing about having so many layers is I can fly high in the sky and no one needs see me on my way. I just bundle up in all the warm, sensory things that the earth has given me, and I move along while watching below to see where the land takes me and who lives there and where are all the things that I might use to begin to find safety and solace.
That naturally, that makes sense. So taking analysis, taking stock of the world around you, seeing what you can grab or like use as tools. So you're also flying, heading in this direction. Can you give me a brains roll?
Certainly. If I can read them. It's a 3, darling. It's really beautiful up here. There's so much to see, and the clouds are so well lit.
Yes, perfect. You're going as well. That was to see whether or not you guys see each other. You have not yet. You're both flying, heading toward this place. I'm gonna say, Harmony, you're going, noticing these things. You see this trailhead. Maybe you're ahead a little bit of where Blake is. I am gonna say that as you're flying, you start to get a glimpse of what you're heading towards, and it is this what looks like a town. You can't tell if it's well populated because you don't see people, but you definitely get a sense of buildings. And there's probably 50 to 100 buildings that are bordered in this fence, right smack dab in between two like mountain ranges. And actually, we will move over to Matthew. What does Kinloch's day look like normally? You're following this this omen as well that you've received, leading you down a path through the forest to like an unknown location. Does Kinloch often fly or
No,
right? Just hiking.
don't like to fly. I can, I don't like to.
Why not?
Don't like heights.
That's right. I love it. So you're walking. You're hiking through. This is like,
Yes.
but you're comfortable, right?
Yes.
You've lived in these woods for a long time. You know the area enough to feel even more comfortable under the canopy than you would be above it.
Kenneth is usually around, so I kind of know what's around me.
That's right. Who's Kenneth again?
Kenneth is my familiar. It's a flicker fox. And Kenneth is a mutt. He is a mix of red fox and gray fox. And the gray, they can split into Ken and Neth. Ken is the gray, Neth is the red. The gray fox, Ken, can go into the veil as well because being gray, he disappears in there so he can search around for things. Neth glows red in there so he doesn't go in there much.
So you have Kenneth up ahead, sort of like smelling, sniffing everything. You're going through the underbrush and you see that like it starts to open up and there is what would be regularly recognized as some sort of main supply route, right? There's an open pathway that has some wagon tracks, some mud, maybe some footprints, and you recognize they're headed in one direction. So you see that Kenneth starts like smelling and goes that way. Within a mile or two, this village is there, and you know this because you've been there before.
This is Brier Ridge.
This is Brier Ridge, yeah. So you haven't spent time there, like you spend most of your time in the outskirts, not with people, but there is a group of individuals from most villages around the area that are like scouts, like hunters and trappers. And I think naturally they would have met you in the woods time and, periodically. And so you're like, oh, I've heard of this place.
Right.
And so you might know some people. Recognizing that, I think it's natural that you just start heading that way.
Got it.
What does Kinloch wear? What is his overall just?
Kinloch is on the shorter side, sort of stout, sort of probably mid-50s. He is generally dressed as a tradesman, sort of a linen shirt, pants. He has a sheet what looks like a sheep. It's actually it was is when his family came over from Scotland a little before the turn of the century. It is his father's family tartan that has just become a catch-all sort of useful blanket, jacket, coat, tent, whatever that he just sort of has wrapped around him. He specifically does not wear hats.
Maybe that's one of the reasons that he doesn't fly, or amongst heights. But like the sun's in your eyes, you don't like a hat, you know.
Yeah, there has to be a very specific reason for him to put a hat on, and it is not many.
Kinloch is his name, and you're walking down this path.
Yeah.
Move over to Don.
Well, hi there.
Don, what does Thomas look like? What's his general mannerisms? Because he doesn't have a familiar, right? So he's got
No, he's a cunning man. He's unlike a witch. Witches have magic within. Cunning men and women have to draw on the power of the natural world without, and use their own intellect, know-how, research to make things like glyphs and little sigils and symbols and stuff. Thomas, however, spends his days out in the woods, out in the mountains, out in creeks and streams and rivers, collecting bits of old snake and hornet's nests and all other types of things that might be useful. Thomas is called in by communities when they think that something magical has happened, because sometimes folks don't brook with magic, and they want to bring in Thomas, even though he does still do magic, but he doesn't do it like witches do. You would find him out and about, probably in the woods, in the mountains somewhere, doing some of that collecting.
And so that's where we find him,
Yes.
right? Thomas is, let's say, out in the forest next to a stream.
Oh, you asked what he looks like. He looks nothing like me. He's much shorter, like 5'8", 5'10", real short guy, like 5'8", 5'10". Tiny little man. Big, much bigger than I am though. Just black hair that he tries to keep chopped, but in a way that's not his priority. But he has a big leather satchel in which he keeps things just in case he needs them.
Oh yeah. So always sort of traveling prepared.
Yep.
I envision him a little bit like a archaeologist meets like a crime scene investigator type.
Sure.
type thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're out there, and you're doing your collecting, and you may not have received an omen as clear as some of the witches.
No, I probably would have had somebody from Brier Ridge come say, "Hey, Thomas, we need your help."
I was literally gonna say, so you hear footsteps, dried leaves cracking like on your periphery, and as you turn, you see somebody you don't recognize, but is this very, I'd say short now, but very short elderly woman who's probably like no higher than 5 feet tall, made up in like a very, I'm gonna say old, but in the world we're speaking, modern.
Contemporary.
Very contemporary, like dress would be proper for a woman. She is a little bit standoffish, but tries to get your attention. Say, "Excuse me, sir, are you? I heard maybe you can help when there's need, and something bad happened in our village, and so."
Something bad? Do you need like a blacksmith or something, or?
No, she says, she like gets very somber, and she's like, well, I could tell you more, but all you really need to know is 3 days ago, my grandson, Cooper, he was taken. He was taken in the middle of the night.
Kids go play in the woods and they don't come back. You sure he's missing?
That's what I thought too. That's what we all sort of thought, was that maybe young old Cooper just got up in the middle of the night, went to play with his sheep. He's got sheep, and he just went missing. But his dad has a story that he saw Cooper being taken by like some big winged creature, some monster. I don't know that I believe in monsters.
All right, let me get my stick.
But
I said I'll get my stick. Hold on. I'm gonna get your kid back for you.
She wasn't expecting that. She was sort of like came out here on a whim, and she says, "I'm fully confident that you'll be able to help us, and any help is greatly appreciated."
Well, that's good, because on the realm in the measurement of help, the people you were talking about can help a lot, but I can help some.
We'll take it. We'll take any help we can get. And she sort of like keeps going through the woods, and you see she makes her way like out. It's very packed. It gets more and more sparse as you sort of move through, and you come across this path. And as you guys exit, you see probably, I don't know, 200 feet in front of you, walking alone with what looks like a fox, probably 50 yards ahead of it, sniffing Kinloch. He is dressed in like, outdoorsy gear. He's just headed sort of the same direction you're headed.
Now, ma'am, what was your name?
Agnes Marlowe.
Agnes, miss, I don't mean to sound impertinent. You seem to already have a witch heading your way. Why do you need me?
She looks up and she's like, well, I don't know who that is.
You don't see all that witching on him?
Am I in front of them or behind them?
In front, yeah.
So I'm walking away. Okay.
So you can't see them. You don't see them yet. And she says, well, witching, I don't know about that. My eyes are not so good in my old age. So all I see up there is just like a hazy blob. I think is bobbing up and down. You see that's a witch up there?
That right there, that's a witch I wouldn't want to tangle with if I didn't have to. But yeah, it looks like you got yourself a witch on the way to your town.
You want to go? Should we go find out? Should we go talk to her?
Sure.
Awesome. And so you guys sort of just pick up the pace a little bit, and you hear Agnes like, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Are you headed to Brier Ridge?
Yeah.
They hire you too?
No. I look for children.
Like to eat them? I hear there's something in these woods that does that sometimes.
Not this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
No.
good.
I find children.
But not to eat them. Okay. I just feel like I need to be real clear about it.
They don't taste good.
So you've eaten one.
Can both of you guys do a brains roll for me?
Ooh. Yes. Wait, no. Yes, this one.
16.
I rolled a 10.
Everybody notices, including Agnes. She's very surprised about the boy. Like, oh, okay, cool. And you hear like wind, like rushing just a little bit, and everybody looks up, and you see one after another, two figures on brooms, one possibly a guitar, fly past you.
Now, Agnes, what exactly did your little boy here get all wrapped up in? Because you got 3 witches around these parts, and I don't know why you need me.
She says, I this seems bigger than me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know.
Did you do this? Are these your friends?
Oh, like other witches.
Same. Nice to meet you. I'm Thomas.
Kinloch.
So you guys keep walking, right? You see these witches fly overhead, and so we're cutting back to you guys now. As you all are following the path and flying along it, you see the road narrow as you descend down into the hollow, like in between these two mountains. Dense trees, dogwood, pine, old black walnut bending in around this village. The air changes too. Since you're in the air, it's getting cooler, and there's like wood smoke mixing with the air. You can see from the chimneys coming out. You immediately hear like the bleating of sheep, probably in the distance. And then you see this town, Brier Ridge, nestled between 2 looming Appalachian peaks. So you all get close to this town, and you two on the ground with Agnes walk up, and you see this big wooden gate, and you hear like a chain sort of, and a door, big wooden door being opened, and you guys make your way in, or you two do anyway. As you guys enter this gate, you see 2 flying witches that you know are like fellow purveyors of the magic arts. Where do you guys want to touch down? Like right next to the gate? Do you want to try to aim for the middle of the city?
Now, I don't much like being seen, and so I move right over the middle of town to the backside of any town square, and as I do, I pull my Jieresa up over, and so it makes it a bit harder for everyone else to see me. I just tend to slip past in shadows whenever I'm covered up. I know that there's a lot of energy that's just come into this town, and I want to be certain that I'm sure of who they are before I engage. I do remember when this town was just 3 houses and the smell of wildlife. It was nice then.
I'll wait to come right down in the middle.
Just a buxom young
and
lady.
Hop off her guitar and go, "Hi, everybody!" She wants to be seen.
Right in the middle is like the market. It's sort of a town center with tents and awnings from buildings. Definitely get a sense that like shutters are closed. People are out that need to be only.
We're using inside voices outside right now.
You see some like, not necessarily fearful looks or judgmental looks, but definitely like you're unknown and you just dropped in our village, not aware of what happened. One of the people that's out there is a youngish woman who sees you touch down and sort of like, not walks up to you, but is like, well, hey, stranger.
Hi, I'm Blake Licorice. How are you?
Blake, nice to meet you.
Nice to
And
meet
she
you. What's
says,
your name?
my name's Clara Whitlow.
That's a beautiful name, Laura.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm very confused.
Sure.
I thought you were flying, and we've had some weird stuff going on in this town, and so I'm just a little concerned.
Well, can I help you? That's really the question. I feel I was called here. Something is going on. What's going on?
She really believes you. She's like, oh, you're here to help. Well, she's frankly, I don't know everything that's going on, but the rumors around town are some livestock's been going missing, which at first we thought, hey, they just run out from the mountains. It happens, you know what I mean? But enough where it started to get a little bit concerning, and then, unfortunately, Mr. Hale lost his son.
Oh, that's terrible.
The rumor is that some monster took him. I know people, and some people are awful. They just are.
Some people find kids to eat them.
Who you'd want to talk to is probably the sheriff. I've seen him running around a bunch the past couple days. He might know more than me, I think.
Okay. Do you know where he is right about now?
He says, actually, I do. He called a meeting to sort of give us as a community an update. And so this might be good timing that you're in town.
Perfect timing. Now, where is this meeting taking place?
Oh, it's actually, I was going up there. So
Oh
I
my
can
God, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
You guys start headed.
He would
I
have
don't
went straight
like-
there,
I
and
don't
I would have
like-
just followed him.
Traveling long distances on my feet, I'd rather just fly right to where I'm headed and just sit in the shadows and gather the information.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So you fly past the center of town, and you see towards the not the outskirts, but like towards the northern part of the town is this big square building that has a little bit of a courtyard in the middle. And you recognize this as what would be like the government building, the Lord's house. That's probably a good place where people will be. You touch down, and you make yourself inconspicuous. So you're in the shadows, and you see, like, you're sort of sitting there for a minute, and there's mumbling happening from inside the building, and at some point, you see that people start to like move your way, and it's trickles at first, one or two, and then probably 15, 20, 30, 50 people start coming in and enter this building. And as they're doing so, some people give you glances. Some people will like throw a coin to be like, hey, we're you hear this a lot. Like, we're all family here. And I've been down on my luck. I get it, I've been there, you know? And so they're very kind folk for the most part.
Do you just put a hat out?
Well, as they begin to pass by, I pull one soft thread from the hem of my skirt, and I let it waft across the wind, and I see it attach to someone moving by, and that thread moves into the building with the community. And with that thread, I hear the threads of community and the threads of harmony. I can begin to listen in.
As fate would have it, one of the final people coming is not just one person, but it's a group of three elderly ladies who are walking up, fully clothed in like, you know, shawls and garments. You see like bags of knitting material, sort of like, you know, falling out of their
My sisters.
And you recognize them not as witches, but definitely just like a knitting circle, who go to these meetings as to knit, to listen to all the drama in the town. They won't even notice an extra thread that's on there.
Not it landing perfectly on the map.
So close.
It landed perfectly right mixed in with everything, and so you start to hear a mumbling and everything first. You guys are led by Agnes to the same direction. And so she's like, sorry, I gotta walk all the way through town, but the sheriff's having an update meeting. So if you guys could follow me, maybe I could
lead the way.
You see an elderly woman and these two gentlemen walking up, and she's sort of talking with like, okay, so You're gonna want to talk to the sheriff as well. He knows a thing or two. Also, my son, Emery, he should be here, but he said he broke his leg, and so it's hard for him to get around sometimes. Listen, if you need anything afterwards, I'll be in the back, but I can house you, and if you need a place to stay.
No, thank you, lad. I'll stay just outside in the woods. I'll be good.
Very well.
Well, then I'll also stay outside in the woods.
You're welcome.
In the more dangerous part of the woods. I'm gonna stay in the worst woods.
Toxic masculinity, generation after generation. Here it challenges us.
Got any boulders I can lift?
You're still enunciating too much.
I'm trying to.
So she heads up the stairs, and you guys follow, and you enter this town hall, and you see that it's packed with people. There is a lectern, and behind it to the side sitting is what you would assume is the sheriff, right? This is portly gentleman in a tight, crisp uniform. He's got sweat stains sort of around his neck and his armpits, like he's been running around. Definitely looks out of breath, looks exasperated and stressed. So Clara's just sort of like talking. She's like, yeah, I'm the school teacher here, so I teach all the kids. I had Coop in my class. He's a really good kid.
Sure.
Really artistic, has like a great spirit about him. He's very caring. And so he's just,
How old is he?
oh, he's 10. He's like, I don't know when his birthday is, but he's like around 10. Yeah. The kids are scared, frankly, because they don't know. Coop was always a little adventurous, and he was a little like,
Got a little fire in him.
yeah, got a little fire.
Yeah, a little spitfire.
Yeah. He likes to stay in the the rougher part of the woods, if you know what I mean. The darker part.
I know, sure thing. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
There are no woods where you're from.
What is a wood?
What is a wood?
This is the most green I've ever seen in my life.
It's so not pokey.
The trees have green leaves. I don't know what's going on here.
Where is the sand?
So we're all in the meeting house.
Wait, how many in or how many outside?
I like to sit on the stoop. That way I can watch what's happening in the village, and I can still hear what's inside with my threads of community holding me together.
We had a little moment though. We did a little, like we're 13-year-old boys.
Did a little
Surrounded by
handshake
witches.
from a distance.
Wait, what's the witchy handshake?
It's,
If y'all could just do thank you. Okay. I needed to see that, actually. Thank you. Do you know the witchy handshake?
Yes. I'm not good at it. Non-dexterous fingers.
Oh, okay. Mangled from all that prognostication you've been doing.
So you guys are all packed in real tight. You see at some point the sheriff sort of stands up and gathers his thoughts, puts his hat on, and walks to the podium, and he says, thank you all for coming. I appreciate you making the time. I see some new faces in here. I see some familiar faces. Some of you know what's going on, but let me just lay out the facts straight. For the past couple weeks, we've had livestock going missing. At first, I thought maybe they just run off. It was a bear, pack of wolves, something like that, but there was no evidence. We scoured these mountains, scoured the woods outside, trying to find any clue, any evidence onto what is going on. Unfortunately, one of our treasured members of our society, our community, has gone missing. A young boy, maybe some of you know him, Cooper Hale, young 10 years old. Mr. Hale says that he saw his son taken by some winged creature. And he takes his hat off and he's like, you can feel the exasperation. And he's like, anything you know or any help you're willing to offer me, I don't have a staff to keep looking over this, and I refuse to give up on this kid.
Oh, I'll help you out, sugar. You need some help? My name's Blake Licorice.
Blake, great.
Nice to meet y'all.
I'm Thomas. I was brought here by Miss Agnes.
You see Agnes, you're sort of like reluctant. You see Agnes stands up and she's like, this is the guy I was told about. He's the one that said he could save Cooper.
I said I'd find him. I don't know in what condition I will find him, but I did say I'd find him. Y'all know y'all also got a couple witches out here too. There's this one, and then there's one outside that's hiding out.
Now, don't just be speaking other people's secrets. It's not your place. You keep it to yourself. Some of us like to keep our privacy, keep our solace. Honestly, monsters are real. Honestly.
Are you gonna get in here and do this work, or am I gonna have to shame you in front of this tiny little community here?
Nobody hears you say that because you're outside, right?
Ah.
yeah, I love that.
She hears the gossip.
You hear the guys
It's like
just
tossing me out
Yeah.
outside, and inside it's just like.
One of the old ladies is like, this, I get a voice from like a thread on me or something. I
It's
just
like, what
hear.
is that in my basket?
The knitting, the three women's knitting is just like,
It's
Like
just
vibrating.
speaking.
what the hell?
It's like
So grouchy.
my bag is
Starts to
yelling at
levitate.
me. Like so, I sort of reluctantly stand up and say, well, I usually like this to be a little more subtle, but we haven't had that allowance. So there's some of us here that have abilities that are beyond the normal. I'm not always comfortable with it either, so I promise you this. I don't usually work with other magical beings, but I will do what I can. My job is to find children.
But not to eat them. He told me earlier he doesn't eat, he just finds them, but he doesn't eat them. I just want everybody to be clear about that.
And it was like,
Not exactly sure the deal with that one, but seems to be strangely obsessed with eating children.
Well, there's a monster in one of these hills that eats kids. So,
How do you know he eats them?
well, they don't come back.
Could be servants. He could be raising them as his own, her own. That's what happened to mine. So, you know, you don't know what's happened to him yet. If it turns out any of these other ones are not on the up and up, you keep an eye on them.
Well, great. Let's get started.
I say, oh, hold on. And I walk outside and I just grab her and I just drag her in here. This one too.
Are.
This one too.
I was trying to make myself
She
known.
wants to help.
I was listening in. I just wanted also to have a bit of a rest in the
Little
shade.
busybody witch.
Nice outside. There was a breeze.
I should have gone up to the knitting and just yelled at it really loud.
Come in,
Can we say I did? That's what I did instead. I went up to the women's knitting. I didn't go outside. I went up to the women's knitting and said, "Are you gonna come in here or what?" And she walks like, "Ah."
You didn't need to yell
I like
right
that
in
you're
my
yelling
ear.
at the old bag for the old bag to come in.
oh my God. So as you walk in, you're sort of like making your way through this river of people coming out. The doors stay open, but as you enter, you see still those three, older women still knitting, not even paying attention, just sort of knitting their own thing. There's the sheriff, Miss Clara Whitlow, who's up there. Agnes is in as well, and then you four.
I have a question. Our ability to detect other magical beings, are we aware of anybody beyond the 3.5 of us?
I will have you do brains plus magic.
Brains and magic is a D4.
My brawn's only 8, and I spent all day moving
Twice
big rocks.
Twice as strong as I am.
My grit is 20. That's why I sit outside the building. I know how to survive. That's what I do.
Oh, my grit's also 20.
What does Kinloch do to sort of perceive magic amongst a group of people, I guess?
That one works by happenstance of the things that people have. So in the same way that if somebody who is, let's say in other parlance, a tarot reader or something, will look at tea leaves or look at something broken or sticks or something's dropped, how people have dropped their stuff when they're in there, how it arranges itself.
And is Kenneth also splitting around and going and looking at stuff for you?
So at the moment it's only Neth. Ken, anytime that I do not actively need Kenneth here for fighting or anything, Ken is on the other side of the veil searching.
Oh, whoa. Okay. So I'm going to say this. A DC 8 to get some information, but if you get something like a 15, you're going to get more.
It's a 4 and a 20. So I've got 4, I've got 21.
That did it. So
He's a very good prognosticator.
yeah. So
Rather.
I think some of your hesitancy to stand up and volunteer was you were cataloging all that information while everybody was in town, in the building. So yeah, with the 21, you get the woman you were traveling with, Agnes Marlowe. While she is not magical or does not emit magic, she has with her an item of magical significance, I would say.